This is the island of Ireland. The island is politically split between the Republic of Ireland, an independent country, and Northern Ireland, which, together with Scotland, England and Wales, form the United Kingdom.
Bastards.
After the Normans had successfully invaded England and taken the throne, they decided to invade Ireland.
Bastards.
Henry II, with the authorisation of Pope Adrian IV to strengthen the papacy's control over the Irish Church, landed in Ireland in 1171 and took
The shirt of any man's back.
as well as a ban on the use of the Irish language.
Bastards.
Although the Reformation was about religion, it also had a lot to do with
Drinking.
After Henry VIII's death in 1547, his Protestant-raised 9-year-old son Edward VI ascended to the throne, but he died of illness just a few years later at the age of
45.
James VI of Scotland also became King of England because of his somewhat unique family ancestry in which he was the son of
Money.
The plantation of Ulster was a process by which Scottish and English settlers confiscated land from the Gaelic Irish.
Bastards.
The birth of the king's son sparked what became known as the
Go ahead again.
in which the two major political parties invited William of Orange
Bastards.
to invade England and take the throne. William of Orange successfully defeated his father-in-law, who also happened to be his uncle since William and Mary
You go at it awful and very hard.
and they took the throne together as William III and Mary II, King and Queen of England. Of course, this also made them King and Queen of
Crips.
and with a Catholic majority, this was obvious. For the next
About 2 hours.
Catholic majority Ireland was ruled by a Protestant minority known as
Bastards.
opposition to the Union was strong and occasionally escalated
Take the shirt of any man's back.
violence. The late 1800s saw a rise in demand for
Peanuts.
was in 1892, but in 1914 the third Home Rule Bill was passed. But 1914 was also the year in which World War I
45.
started, and therefore the bill had to be put on hold. With the
Bastards.
army still occupied with the war in Europe, Irish Republicans staged a rebellion in Dublin called the Easter Rising with a goal of putting an end to British rule in Ireland and establishing an Irish Republic. The rising took place over the course of just a few days, but nearly 500 people died, most of whom were civilians. But with far superior numbers, the British Army managed to suppress the rebellion. The result was an unconditional surrender by the rebel forces, and most of the rebel leaders were executed. In the 1918 UK general election, an Irish political party called Sinn
Fry on.
Féin, who supported Irish independence, and many of their members had participated in the Easter Rising, won 73 of the
About 2.
Irish seats at the British Parliament. But they chose to not take their seats at the British Parliament and instead decided to form their own Irish Parliament and proclaim an Irish Republic as a newly independent country. The Irish Republic claimed the whole island of Ireland, but there was a lot of support for the Union in the north, especially in Ulster, in which
About 2. 45. Bastards.
won a Unionist majority. In 1920, with the war still ongoing, a fourth Home Rule Bill was passed, superseding the third Home Rule Bill that was passed but never implemented. This partitioned Ireland into northern
Crips.
and southern.
Pints.
So Ireland would remain part of the United Kingdom with Home Rule, but instead of having one Irish Parliament in Dublin, there would be two, one in Dublin for Southern Ireland and one in Belfast for Northern Ireland. This was an attempt to meet demands of both Irish nationalists and Irish.
Bastards.
And while the Northern Irish government was successfully established, the Southern Irish government was not. The treaty included the whole island of Ireland but had an opt-out clause for Northern Ireland, which they immediately exercised, so the short-lived Southern Ireland became the Irish Free State. Some were happy with this situation, but others were not. Many were unhappy that Ireland was still part of the British Empire and wanted total independence. So the Irish nationalists were split between the pro-treaty nationalists and the anti-treaty nationalists. The political party Sinn
Go ahead again.
Féin split into two separate parties, independents. In the 1922 Irish general election, the two political parties that won the most seats were
Go ahead again.
and
Go ahead again.
in 1937 a referendum was held for a new constitution to remove all British taxes
Crips.
from Ireland. 56% of people voted in favour and Ireland adopted a new constitution, becoming a fully independent country. The country changed its name to
Fry on.